He's back, the Holy One, the Chosen One. Neil Warnock has come out of retirement to save Huddersfield Town, returning to one of his first ever jobs in management, as in 1995, Neil Warnock was the manager of Huddersfield and Buffon played for Parma. Almost 30 years later, and things haven't changed. In honour of him and his services to the game, I'd love to play with him as a real manager, but unfortunately here in FIFA 23 career mode, it's only the Premier League managers available. It's a sad sight to behold, but we've had to create him ourselves and doing our best job at recreating his dashing looks in game. Once fighting for survival and battling with the big boys in the Prem, here at the Kirklees Stadium, the Terriers' fortunes have taken a turn for the worst. There is only one man for the job. Sir Warnock is here to overhaul the club and bring them the ultimate glory, the Champions League title.
You've got to fucking die to get 3 points.
We're bringing the town to the big time, whether you like it or not. It's Neil's final swan song, back where it all began. Thanks to us being in the middle of the season, we are not allowed to use the summer transfer window. We've got to work with what we've got. We're going to wait till January to try and pull a few moves off and see who's tickling Warnock's fancy come the summer market. However, for the time being, this is the roster we're currently working with. They're using the 5-3-2 formation, which I'm not opposed to. Probably going to change things up tactically, as it's an old, aging squad. We need a bit of youth injected into this team. A lot of lone players. It's a classic championship side. Playoffs would honestly be a dream, but without the summer transfer market, we might be in a little bit of strife. It's an overinflated team with 39 players. A lot of the best are actually on loan, so we're going to have to replace the likes of Matthew Lowton, Sorbert Thomas. So hopefully the board gives us time and lets us cook. Can Warnock get the best out of these players? I hope so. The likes of David Kasumu, High, Simpson leading the line. These younger guys who are severely underrated could potentially make a name for themselves here at Huddersfield and be part of the journey back to the Premier League. Our only means of bringing in brand new players right now is through the Youth Academy. Let's see what we've got on offer here, as we have a homegrown talent waiting for us. Warnock meets Sam Nichols, the 16-year-old centre forward, 6'4", 5-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, high attack and work rate, 83 to 94 potential. That's a one-way ticket into our attack if I've ever seen one. He's a generational academy talent and could be with us until the end of the rebuild. Meanwhile, we've got ourselves 2 other goalkeepers, which is unfortunately our best position here at Huddersfield, so we don't really need these 2. And Martin Nelson, I'm sorry mate, just pick a different profession because you just haven't got it. Neil is all about that hard work. Warnock ball is going to be a pleasure to watch. Our style of play will go as follows. We want press after possession loss, the essence of hard work. Build up play offensively will be fast build up and chance creation forward runs. Once we do actually make it to January though, we've got a starting budget of around £8 million to splash. So nothing too pricey. We're probably just going to have to shop around and snap up some bargains for 7.7 mil. Stick around, grab some popcorn and join along for the ride, because this is going to be an unforgettable one. We've arrived in January and this is the current standing of the club. Sitting in 6th, alright. Neil Warnock has gotten Huddersfield up into that playoff zone for the second half of the season to go, but let's hope they can keep this kind of form up. Now, our first piece of business here, we got to do a few sales to raise some cash. Danny Ward will be moving to the MLS for 800k. Cheeky little sale there, an A-grade rating. He's just the exact kind of player that we got to shift out. The 32-year-old Englishman now departs. Again, joining him on the out will be Jordan Rhodes, moving to Real Zaragoza for 720k. Yet another old aging striker heading out the door. Don't mind me, for some reason I stopped singing in December and thought that was the January transfer window. Was wondering why things were playing up, so we've got an extra month of football to play. Yeah, well, that gives us a little bit more of a reality check, sitting in 10th, pretty much in mid-table. Let's hope we can push for playoffs. It's gonna be tight. However, the Huddersfield boys are well and truly on track and doing better than they are in real life. It is 3 in a row, our 3rd player departure of the video so far. Another aging player in the squad, a veteran if you will. It's Tom Lees moving out to Granada for just under £1 million. Another sale and the wage bill is definitely getting cut. A surprising one, it's a player actually with a game face scanner. It's Hogg this time. We're gonna have to shift out of the doors, moving out of the Huddersfield headquarters. Warnock's had his way with him, as we've agreed for him to move out to the Netherlands for 350k. Now it's the first signing in this Neil Warnock era. Huddersfield have captured themselves a Premier League starlet, the Youth Academy player that has bursted onto the scene. We've cooked up a deal with Pep Guardiola and the homegrown man himself, Lewis, the right back from Manchester City, having a breakout campaign this year in real life. Rico will be joining us for £3 million under his valuation. It's a steal, an absolute bargain in my eyes, as he's going to slot straight into our starting 11. City fans, look away as your Cole Walker replacement joins us down in the championship. We'll be getting game time week in, week out. An exciting prospect. He's the brand new poster boy. He could potentially be a future club legend. Thanks to our new formation as well, I'm probably going to look to convert him into a right wing back or right midfielder. I know he's got the potential to bomb up and down that right hand side and just cause mayhem. That's absolute light work. 16 weeks and he's going to be a key piece to the puzzle in our team. Next up on the agenda is another up and coming hidden gem talent, I'll say. It is the Ecuadorian Pacheco. He arrives from Royal Antwerp and is going to fit ever so nicely into our starting 11 to join that three-man back line, some defensive cover, and automatically becomes Pacho. That's it. He grabs the number 6, signs on the dotted line to become a Terrier. We agreed the feel. It was actually a little swap deal with Matty Pearson plus £4 million. William, welcome yourself to England. That's gotten us an A. A defensive rock, a unit that is going to be a thorn in our side for years to come. At only 21, he's showing great potential. Now, thanks to our goalkeeper situation, we have two pretty decent shot stoppers on our roster. However, they are aging and we need an upgrade desperately. Thanks to a little bit of Sir BCHD influence in the mix, we have captured ourselves an Italian stallion. This time it is Caprile from Bari over in Serie B. He's an up-and-coming Italian goalkeeper and is probably the future of the national team. He arrives again on a swap deal featuring Lee Nichols headed the other way, plus £1 million cash. We're wheeling and dealing out here in January 2023, and Elia Caprile will now be a brand new Huddersfield man. He'll be our future first team keeper in the seasons to come. Now, make no mistake, Ryan Thomas, I have signed the Kiwi before in our free agents only rebuild here on FIFA 23, and we've gone after him again just because he's an option. He is free, and honestly, I'm just probably going to flip him, sell him for some cash. It's just a financial play at the end of the day. I'm sorry. We'll be selling the lad when we're in need for some extra pennies. However, don't get it twisted. I've seen another future opportunity in the free agency, and this time it's the Moroccan Sofiane Boufal, criminally underrated in his time, played for Southampton, Nice. He's an incredibly skilled baller, and I've no idea why he's just languishing here in the free agents. We're going to pick him up for absolutely nothing. Can play at centre forward, left mid, striker. The Moroccan can be a handy utility man, a super sub off the bench. Thanks to our budget being only £2-3 million, it's all we can afford right now. It's a short-term solution, a short-term signing, but hey, we did it for the plot. We get a delayed welcoming cutscene here for Sofiane Boufal, but after those abundance of signings, heaps of players arriving in a row, we have now sold Dwayne Holmes out to Genk for £1.25 million. I'm sorry, my guy, but it was just another piece of deadwood we had to get rid of. Now, this is a statement signing if I've ever seen one. First, we cooked up a deal with Pep Guardiola. Now we are getting down to business with Jurgen Klopp. Ignore Ryan Thomas having his delayed arrival cutscene happen. Signing free agents on a regular basis just breaks the cutscenes in the game so for some reason. I don't know why. However, we have secured the deal for Stefan Bajcetic. I think that's how you say it. For £2.5 million arriving from Anfield. It's a Spanish hidden gem bursting onto the scene of Merseyside. He's getting some decent game time this season, and our plans with him are going to be monumental. As we capture him for under his value, an exciting prospect. He hasn't got a 2D profile picture in game, which kind of gives me the ick, but I can look past it. The 18-year-old signs on the dotted line, and Warnock is firing away here in this January transfer business, showing no mercy. We're still cleaning house in our first active transfer window, and another player that departs us for now is going to be Josh Ruffels, joining Darmstadt on a free contract. It's just another salary off the wage bill. We continue to minimize the roster size throughout this January period, and in winter, we are just culling players left, right, and center. It's another Huddersfield sale here, this time with Oliver Turton joining FC Twente for 800k on the dot. And I wasn't initially planning on them, however, loan moves. I've decided to give a chance to a young and upcoming wonder kid who might not get the game time he needs to develop in this team. He'll be off to get some more games under his belt, and that is Aaron Rowe, now departing to Rangers, joining them on a 2-year basis. Let's hope that rejuvenates his career and he comes back a new man. That's deadline day. That's probably the last piece of business we're able to get done. This is how the team will be looking going into the second half of the season. Still in the process of converting Lewis into a right midfielder. However, new boys have entered the first team, the likes of Boufal, Pacho at the back. The Spaniard joins in the midfield trio, and Caprile and Thomas will be options in off the bench. The Terriers are daring to dream, shooting up the top end of the table. Let's hope we've done enough, as this is Warnock's first choice 3-5-1-1 formation. It's dynamic, it's out there, but it's going to surprise a few people. We've simulated and arrived at the end of the season. season, and here in the championship, it is Norwich and Hull City getting that automatic promotion to the Prem. Unfortunately, we aren't in the top 6. We landed pretty well outside of it, 13 points the gap. Coming in 9th, it's a top half of the table finish, and I'm sure we're going to rally the troops and get everyone ready for a promotion push next campaign as Cardiff City, Rotherham United and Blackpool all go down to League 1. It's probably going to do us a world of good and the team just another year of growth and development here in Div 2, as our FA Cup run was cut short by Fulham 2-0 in round 3. We also faced elimination in round 2 of the Carabao Cup against Port Vale 2-1. It wasn't a very successful season on the pitch in terms of achievements, but it was one for transition. Getting some admin work done behind the scenes, and we can now take a glance at who were our best performers this time around, as here this campaign was actually Sam Nichols, our Youth Academy homegrown talent wonder kid, with 48 appearances, 21 goals and 8 assists for the 16-year-old centre forward, going up a +7 out of 76. Him and Tyree Simpson up front completely tearing things up. He got himself a +5, now sitting at 69 with 11 goals and 2 assists in 28 appearances. Sofiane Boufal in the second half of the season definitely was a star shine bright. 12 goal contributions in 17 appearances was absolutely immense, and the likes of Scott High, the Scotsman in the middle of the park, with 10 goal contributions, and Helek from the back with 3 goals. Our brand new Ecuadorian defender with 2 goals in the second half of the campaign, and new boy Stefan the Spaniard got himself a goal in 17 appearances. Rico Lewis with a goal and 3 assists from right mid now. Yes, he is officially converted. We've got some hidden gem youngsters who are already at Huddersfield, like Etienne Kamara, who is just bubbling under the surface. He has grown himself a +4, and Tyree Simpson, who has just really surprised me so far. Our highest valued asset is, of course, our homegrown talent, Sam Nichols, the teenage sensation. We're going to try and keep him at all costs. Our number 10, he's one of our own, and he single-handedly carried us to be even in contention of the top half of the table spots. It's another year in the second tier for the Terriers. Can Warnock work his magic? You're going to have to find out as the big man gets his second spin at the Huddersfield hot seat. Here in our second campaign this time around, our transfer budget is pretty much exactly the same as it was last year. £8 million in the bank. We're going to have to make some smart buys. Some bargains will have to be hunted. We can now start taking action here this summer. Let's see what kind of moves Neil can pull off this time. We started off this summer with some big targets in mind, and our first one is we'll just walk through the door. Sir Warnock has gotten this deal over the line. It's quite a unique one. It's a 2-year loan deal with an option to buy. You might already recognize his game face scan. It's a Brighton's Ferguson. The Irishman joins us here as a backup super sub striker. He'll grab on to the number 14 in search for more game time here in the championship, and hopefully is a crucial protagonist in our push towards Premier League promotion. Doing this around St. Paddy's Day as well, so it just feels right. The 18-year-old is an underrated gem in career mode, and there you go, our buy option, £5 million. It's there to be activated if we see fit. We're in the process of building up a young and upcoming defense as we've scoured the free agency for this hidden gem pickup. It is Laurent Arnaud. Could be a regen, he could just be a random youth academy player spawned into this save. Whoever he is, we've got him on a free, valued at 850k, the 64 rated centre back. At 17 years of age, the teenager has found the perfect stomping ground to grow and develop his game. I'm sure he is going to be an absolute rock in defense. This market had a youth focused transfer window written all over it, and we have just lost out. The free agent deal of Ross Barkley joining us, the failed wonder kid from back in the day. It just wasn't meant to be. The 29-year-old preferring to join Burnley over us. Not willing to make that step down to the championship, unfortunately. In more sad news, we have to say farewell to another Huddersfield OG as Arnaud walks through the doors of Huddersfield Town. He gets the delayed greeting of Warnock for the first time as Connor Marnie will be joining Union in Belgium for just over £1 million. Didn't really get much game time last year and isn't really in our future plans, so the sale just made sense. We have sacrificed literally every single last penny in the transfer budget to get this deal over the line, and this is a new upcoming youngster bursting onto the career mode scene. It's the resurgence of the Norwegian Vikings. It feels like a brand new era is about to spawn as the likes of Odegaard, Haaland tearing up the Premier League, and the exact same is the future for Andreas Schellengerup from Benfica. Gotta get better with that pronunciation, but we've cooked up yet another swap deal. It's a player plus cash kind of vibe as the 19-year-old Norwegian joins for £8.4 million plus Thomas, who arrived back from his loan spell. He heads the other way. Schellengerup is showing great potential and is definitely going to replace the aging Boufal on the left-hand side. Our brand new number 8 could well and truly be a pivotal figure in order to shoot us up the table and get us that promotion we are craving right now here at the town. It's a statement signing, and I can't be happier to have him here. A crucial first team member, can also play at a center, attack, and mid. I'm telling you guys, this kid is next up. It's confirmed Warnock has officially exhausted all resources. It's promotion or bust. We are setting the bar high, and this is how our starting 11 is looking going into season 2. We've got a few new faces joining us here on the bench and in the starting 11. Boufal will now get the captain's armband. Simpson's still our go-to striker, and Nichols is the homegrown talent carrying this team on his back. Let's see if the chosen one can lead us to the promised lands here with Warnock at the helm. Now, would you take a look at that? The second time around in the championship did us a world of good, and we finish in runners-up, getting that promotion. The Terriers, the town, are back in the top flight, only losing the title out by 1 point, getting a staggering 98 points to their name. Brentford winning the league. As we scroll further down the table towards the opposite end, it is Barnsley, Bolton, and Stoke City all getting relegated to League One. We achieved the ultimate goal, but in terms of other competitions, we didn't really manage too far in the FA Cup, getting eliminated in round 4 to Southampton 2-1. Again, honestly, like I said, I'm not really too fussed about these other cup competitions for now, as we got knocked out in round 1 again. It's Port Vale to win on penalties at 4-3, giving us a humiliating exit. But hey, we're in the Premier League now, and so are Bournemouth. They win 1-0 in the playoff final. It was a season to remember, a stunning campaign for the boys in blue and white, as we have a gaze at some of NEIL's top performers this year. We're going to sort out by goals, and it's the top goal scorer, Tyrese Simpson, again coming through with a bag of goals. The 22-year-old scoring 24 goal contributions in 49 appearances. I feel like we've got our very own Ivan Toney arriving through the ranks. He's now boosted a +4 to his 73, and Sofiane Boufal, who I thought was just going to be an innocent bystander throughout our promotion season. However, he got himself 30 goal contributions, 19 goals, and 11 assists. The only player to get 30 goal contributions. Experience is paying off, and his versatility is amazing. And it's that man again, Sam Nichols, the homegrown talent, who is going to be a starlet. The 17-year-old with 8 goals and 3 assists, now the highest rated player in the team. Andreas Schelderup, the Norwegian, with 10 goals to his name, 2 assists. It's a +4 to his overall, which almost sees him as an 80. Ryan Thomas also having his fair share of game time in the midfield with 8 goals and 2 assists. Kasumu, the Nigerian, with 4 goals and 8. And Helik from the back of the pole with 3 goals. A season 1 signing coming through with a +5 overall boost, now sitting at an 80 as our best defender. Stefan Bajcetic, I'm really happy with his progression so far. His development, seeing him get 9 goal contributions from CDM. Rico Lewis, not too much goal involvement and production, however his +6 overall boost shows how much work he's putting off the field and on it. And our goalkeeper situation still sees Thomas Vaklig be the main starter in between the sticks. Financially, Sam Nichols is our highest valued asset, standing at £60 million. However, William Pacho and Schelderup both stand in the 20 million range. It was a historic season for the club, however, it doesn't come with a bit of bad news, as we see Ryan Thomas, our free agent. We did admittedly pick up financial gain. We forgot to renew his contract, and he'll be joining a PSV come the next season on a free. There you have it. Warnock's come out of retirement and led Huddersfield 2 years later back up to the Prem. The last time he was in the top divisions of England, it was with Cardiff, and that ended pretty badly. So we're trying to buck the trend here. It's going to be a tough relegation scrap, but I'm sure Warnock's got something up his sleeve, as we now see Ryan Thomas have his departure from the club on a free. I also forgot to touch upon Ferguson's loan deal being recalled. I mean, Brighton just cancelled it after he wasn't getting that much game time. The Irishman has departed the club, just like Thomas. And it's about time, but finally we have gained the trust of the board, gotten that financial backing with £46 million to spend. In this summer transfer market, it is going to be the resources for the Prem in order to stay up, in order to survive. We all know the deal. In order to stay up in one of the most competitive and fierce leagues in the world, we've got to shore up our defense. We've got to make sure our defensive unit is on point, and Warnock's just gone after it. He's gotten himself a Warnock-esque player, a 6'5" English centre-back, an no-nonsense defender that all strikers in the league are going to fear coming up against, and that's Jarrett Branthwaite. I mean, just look at the size of this man. He arrives from Everton for £5.5 million, currently making a name for himself at PSV in real life. I think he's severely underrated. 90 jumping, 90 sprint speed at only 22 years of age, game face scan and all. It's an underrated buy for sure. And I thought whilst we're at it, we might as well cup a bit more Premier League experience in our backline. And considering we've lost an Irishman last season with Ferguson, we're going to gain one here with Nathan Collins. The former Stoke City man will join us from Wolverhampton Wanderers. He's going to be an absolute rock in our 3-man backline, our most expensive transfer to date, for a flat out fee that is pretty much half of our transfer budget gone on right there. At 23 years of age, he's still got his best years ahead of him and is going to slot straight into our starting 11. We've started off this summer transfer window with a young core of players improving our spine. However, now it's time to get in some valuable experience in the side. Rade Krunic, the Bosnian, is available on a free contract. He's already rejected a Bundesliga move to join us here in the Prem, and the former AC Milan Empoli baller will be joining us and potentially becoming a starter in the middle of the park. I saw a juicy option and Warnock had to take it. And that also goes for the youngster, a former Manchester City Academy player, Morgan Rogers, who was out on loan in Season 1, back at Man City in Season 2. We were actually trying to go for him last season to buy, but we ran out of money. I feel like this one was just written in the stars, asking us to go for him, and it was just a deal that had to be done. Morgan Rogers, welcome to Huddersfield Town. He'll act as a backup for both Shelderup and Rico Lewis on the left and right hand side. Season 3 continues to go from strength to strength, as it was a signing I wasn't really initially planning for. We're taking advantage of another club's demise. Their downfall is going to lead to some opportunities, as Brighton has now been relegated to the Championship. We have poached one of their best young and upcoming talents, the former Chelsea boy Billy Gilmore. We've done a soul for a soul, a Scotsman for a Scotsman. Scott High will be heading the other way, plus £8 million, player plus cash deal, the first swap deal of the window. We were able to afford him and give him an opportunity in the top flight where he deserves to be playing. The best is yet to come for Billy the Kid, and I'm sure Warnock can get the best out of a 5'7" majestic magician in the middle of the park. Thanks to that purchase, it's pretty much left us with nothing. £5 million can't get you anything in this market. In this economy, forget about it. And you'll wonder why we have to rely on a few free agents here and there, because our expenses are through the roof. However, we've got a few players to say goodbye to, and that includes the English midfielder Josh Osterfield, now moving to FSU, a Romanian outfit, for 800k. A minor departure, but it had to be done. It's now 2 player sales in a row, and it's just a classic clearance at Deadwood just to get him off the wage bill. It's a player that hasn't really been involved too much ever since the start. It is Karoma. He will now be heading over to Belgium. Ghent picking up for £1.75 million. Okay, I'm happy this one's gone through. We've had to sell this player. He's arrived back from his loan spell, and just to raise a few funds to make one last play in this transfer market, and it will be Ramoni Critchlow making a step back down to the Championship, joining the Blades. Sheffield United pick him up for just over £1.3 million. The transfer negotiations and the nagging we had to do with this last deal, we've gone after a backup striker slash cam, Liam Delap, another Man City player from their academy. We have just raided the Citizens and their second string talent. It's just a classic case of a backup brigade signing, a super sub to bring in off the bench. I do want to convert him into a cam. Besides Simpson and obviously our homegrown talent, we really don't have another striker. It's a strange number, but we'll scrape in the bottom of the barrel. We're looking for pennies under the couch cushions, and Guardiola, I think, just felt sorry for us. Here you go, have him. You're probably going to need him more than we need him, and the champions have decided to gift us an exciting prospect. He's going to serve a purpose, as we've got some big long-term plans for him. His position training is going to be set on cam. It's going to take a while to convert. We're productive as ever in this summer market, so no real need for deadline day. We haven't really left anything to the last minute. We've gone all in with that strategy, go hard or go home. Let's see if it pays off. New boys Branthwaite and Collins join Pacho in the back line. Rade Krunic starting in that CM centre attacking midfield spot. Also alongside Gilmore, as Delap, Bufal and Rogers are all viable options in off the bench. Shoulder Up has been gifted the captaincy. Let's hope he can guide us to build a solid foundation here in the Prem. Alright, NEIL Warnock, I see you. Huddersfield causing a few problems in the Premier League. Not only beating the drop, not only staying out of relegation dogfights, they're climbing all the way up to 7th place. That could even possibly be a Conference League spot if I'm not mistaken. So European qualification? Question mark. The Terriers making their presence known in the Prem with 54 points. It was a one-horse race there, as Liverpool, Spurs and Chelsea all finish in the top 4, and getting relegated is Leeds, Everton and Norwich City, all going back down to the Championship. Wolverhampton Wanderers take out the FA Cup with a 1-0 win against Palace in the final at Wembley, as we continue to not be able to string a cup run together to save our lives, losing out on penalties to the eventual champions in round 5. It goes from bad to worse in the Carabao Cup, as Fulham won 4-3 on penalties against Millwall. All these unlikely matchups happening that we weren't involved in, thanks to our round 2 elimination to Fleetwood 2-0 at home. Are we just a one-season wonder? Was it a season of overachieving? Despite all the hate, despite all the rumours, we have actually had a campaign for the record books, and here were our top performers, with Andreas Shelderup, the captain leading by example. He's got the armband, and with it, he scored 30 goals and 6 assists. The Norwegian Viking, Haaland and Odegaard, have been real quiet since this kid joined Huddersfield, and the performances are absolutely spellbinding. A +3, now sitting at an 82 overall, while Sam Nichols continues to be a teenage sensation, the generational talent with 13 goals and 10, the only player to get double figures in both departments. 41 appearances for the youngster as Tyree Simpson. He can score them in the championship, he can score them in the Prem. He's just a cult hero goal getter with 13 goals and 1 assist. Rico Lewis with some pretty consistent output, 7 goals and 8 assists, and our 20-year-old Spaniard with a +5 and has been one of the most underrated players this season. He's a stalwart in our starting 11. He's really been able to flourish here at the John Smith Stadium. Billy Gilmore's first time out in a Terriers jersey with 4 goals and 7, and Rade Krunic, the free agent, proving his worth and experience with 3 goals and 6. Sofian Boufal, despite his limited game time and only 1 goal and an assist, he went up a +2, now at an 81 overall as we've breathed new life into the 31-year-old's career. He's having a little mini revival. Now goalkeeper transition continues to go down as Caprile got himself 15 appearances, looking for more game time. The homegrown talent wonder kid is obviously our highest valued asset, creeping into that 9-figure range, now valued at £145.5 million. Out of nowhere, Stefan Bajcetic with a £41.5 million valuation, getting that second place spot. Some admin work we've got to catch up on, as I unfortunately forgot to renew some contracts, and yeah, this is on me, my bad. Elik moves to Vitesse on a free, Nakayama moves down to Serie B to join Pisa, and Nordsjælland pick up Danny Grant. Our third time in the hot seat arguably has ended up in Huddersfield's most successful campaign to date. However, we're going to have to increase our depth and quality. We need to be competing in multiple competitions. Season 4 is going to be the ultimate test to see if this team is the real deal or not. Securing our status as a Premier League staple 2 years in a row, we have now been gifted only £34 million. The financial backing from the board has actually decreased by £12 million compared to last season. Again, in order to compete at the top level, we're going to have to shop for some bargains. We want to kick off Season 4 with a bang, and honestly, Warnock's come across a man. He thinks he's hardworking, a baller, got a bit of that South American flair in him, got that dog in him, and I'm feeling pretty bullish on him too. We're spending a huge chunk of the transfer budget. It's a player plus cash deal. He's got some Premier League experience under his belt and will slot straight into our starting 11. Vinny Sousa, welcome to the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield Town is his new home, and he'll be arriving on a swap deal basis from Southampton. Rade Krunic involved in the deal, plus £32.2 million. We have gone all in. Sousa though, I've never really signed him before, never really played with him, and he's just got that quality about him. At 26, he's like a Fernandinho-esque player we need in the team. The CDM can also play in a bunch of positions. He's literally anywhere in the center of the park. He can do it. Center mid / center back as well. He's dynamic, and he automatically becomes a crucial first team player at Krunic's expense. Now that our entire transfer budget has pretty much vanquished, we've had to settle on yet another free agent, and this time it is Rick Karsdorp. The neck-tattooed Dutchman has got a bit of that bad boy vibe about him, and he arrives on a free, completely exhausting our transfer budget with 2 moves, but we have opted for quality over quantity in this window. Yeah, it's getting to the point now where you've just got to seriously doubt what I say or what I predict, because we are nowhere to be seen in the Europa Conference League, not even in the playoff rounds. Okay, apparently 7th in the Prem gets you nothing nowadays. I apologize on my past self's behalf. 2 wins, no outs, just a simple transfer window. And here is our strongest starting 11. Is looking on paper to face another season of top flight action. The trio now gaining some quality alongside Gilmore and Bajcetic. Shajel Drop continues to maintain a stronghold on the captain's armband. Let's hope we can aspire to qualify for any form of European competition here in campaign 4. We're closing the curtains on yet another Premier League outing, and Warnock's Huddersfield are back in 7th again. 2 years in a row. Consistency is key, and there has been no second season syndrome. They haven't slid down the table, gathering 62 points all season, finishing behind Leicester for your European spots. Unfortunately, able to clinch any European competition as Manchester City walk the league. Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs all finish in those top 4 positions. At the bottom end, it's Brighton, Burnley and Crystal Palace all getting that relegation. The FA Cup was yet another piece of silverware unable to attain it. Chelsea winning 2-1 against United in the final, as we pretty much made it all the way to round 5, losing out to Manchester City on penalties. It was a tough way to go, but it is what it is. And over in the Carabao Cup, okay, it's our first piece of silverware we've actually won in the rebuild so far. Warnock gets a little party of his own. It was a Carabao Cup final against Ipswich Town of all teams. games. Another 2-2 result, and we ended up edging that one on penalties. The boys had ice in their veins. That means the Terriers, I think, get European qualification. Europa League, here we come. Season 5. We're on a European tour, thank God. PSG win the Holy Grail and take home the Champions League in a 2-0 win over Barca in the final. Over in the Europa League, which hopefully will be able to recreate this English success. Manchester United beating out Lazio 3-1. And the Conference League saw Atalanta take down RC Lens in a 6-goal thriller. Let's go ahead and take a look at our top performers this season. Any new names bursting out onto the scene and making a name for themselves? No, it was Andrea Schelderup again, the captain, being our top goal scorer to get double figures in both departments. 28 goals and 12 assists. That is 40 goal contributions in 45 appearances for the 22-year-old Norwegian. With a +5 overall boost, he is growing and developing by the day, just like this kid Sam Nichols. Warnock has grown him, nurtured him, and acted as a father figure as he scored 21 goals and 5 assists this season. Tyrese Simpson was at it again. He's our very own Jamie Vardy, Ivan Toney-esque character. He just knows how to find the back of the net. 19 goals and 1 assist. Rico Lewis on the right-hand side with 6 goals and 3. And Billy the Kid Gilmore, who is turning from a kid to a man with these kind of stats. The Scotsman with 6 goals and 8. David Kasumu also had a decent little cameo this season. The Nigerian with 4 goals and 1. The new boy on the roster with 2 goals and 3 assists from the back lines. We kind of shifted him around this season. Sometimes he played in the midfield, sometimes he played in the back. And Liam Delap's cam conversion continues to take forever. We've got to trust the process with that one. Stefan Bijatic had a little come down when it comes to goal contributions. However, he still managed to train, grow and improve his overall game. And Caprile, finally, our man Elia, the Italian stallion in between the sticks with 44 appearances, 7 clean sheets to his name. Sam Nichols on top of the pack, grown 36%, now standing at a £223.5 million market value. I think it is just sacrilege to sell this guy at this point. Europe, take notice. Watch out, because Warnock's Huddersfield are coming for you. They're here not to partake, they're here to take over, baby. What can we cook up come season 5? This time around, we have been granted with a casual £59 million to go crazy with. Not really a war chest we're working with here, but it's currently the highest budget we've been allocated so far. Our first major move on the chessboard at the town this season is to actually say farewell to a loyal servant who brought us to the promised land, Sofiane Boufal. I know it doesn't look like it, it's just because the cutscene that's playing is the free agent we signed last year, Karsdorp. Free agents just break the game for some reason. However, Sofiane Boufal is actually the man departing here. He'll be off to Wolfsburg. We ship him off for £15.1 million. We're using the Moroccan to raise some funds for some baller purchases that we've got in the pipeline. We've also had to consider our failed Liam Delap cam transformation experiments, as I've decided to go after a playmaker. I'm just sick and tired of not having a cam to be a backup just in case of injuries and suspensions. A viable option in and off the bench, and we've decided to introduce another Spaniard to Huddersfield Town. At this time, it's going to be Gabri Veiga, arriving from Celta Vigo for a massive fee of £36.2 million. Although he's not going to be a starter week in, week out, he's going to be a valuable addition to the squad and just improves our depth and quality. He cost us a pretty penny, so I hope our new number 7 delivers. Another player I've decided to give up on and I've just run out of patience with is that youth academy baller we signed a couple years back. Now that defender, he will now be involved in this trade deal. We're going to need some backline cover with some European experience. That's why we've opted for this man right here, standing proud next to Warnock, Odilion Kusunu. It's £27.7 million, plus Arnaud headed the other way to Union Berlin. It's yet another one of our players off to Germany, departing to the Bundesliga. Meanwhile, we get the tough Ivorian centre-back, a 6'3" monster that I'm sure is going to do the Terriers fans proud. Going to slot straight into that starting 11 and is an upgrade upon Branthwaite. It's a day one player, someone who Warnock greeted in the initial starting 11 all the way back in season 1. We've been looking to sell him for quite some time now. It's our defender, Edmonds Green, sitting on the sidelines, warming the bench for a couple years now. Romani will be departing to Spezia over in Italy for £2.8 million. It's good to see a bunch of our lads now not only impressing on club level, but also representing their nations out on international duty. You love to see it. There have been a few factors that have opted us towards the free agents list, and Deschamps Bernard was an offer that I couldn't pass up. The former Manchester United player for free, 25 years of age. He gave away Arnaud in that trade deal, and now we're going to have a little bit of defensive cover thanks to our 3-man backline, thanks to our financial situation. It was just a deal we had to get done. We're about to be drawn into a European competition. Huddersfield drawn out of the pot, and we've been grouped into Group G alongside Copenhagen, Braga and Dundalk. Not too bad, you know. We avoided some big boys like Juventus and from Barcelona. But bringing that transfer window to a close, I'm satisfied with that summer on the market, and here is our strongest starting 11. We've built Warnock a solid project here. We've got some weapons to bring in off the bench. The depth is there. Can the lads handle multiple competitions, especially a European campaign? I guess we're gonna have to find out. I mean, it's better late than never, but damn, finally we've got Liam Delap officially converted into a cam. It's taken about 2 years or so, but we're officially gonna do the conversion. Someone who didn't take as long to convert to their position was BCHD, now moving and shifting towards the center midfield archetype, getting a +1 upgrade in the process. And I told you, we're still working on those development plans behind the scenes which keep this team ticking. It has been an absolutely monumental season in the Premier League this year, with our highest ever points tally possibly in club history, collecting 73 points this season, finishing outside the top 4, only 1 win away from Champions League football, as Manchester United take home the league title with 91 points. Spurs, Man City and Chelsea all get those 4 positions. Towards the bottom end of the table, it's Bournemouth, Norwich and Everton being condemned to the second tier. Despite not a top 4 finish, we do have one saving grace to get us into the Champions League next season, and it's a date with destiny, a date with FC Barcelona in a Europa League final 2027. I want to watch this one play out. I think we can go toe to toe, lock horns with the big boys as we finish top of Group G. We eventually made it through to the round of 16 where we took down Nice 5-2 on aggregate. The quarterfinals saw us progress past Salernitana with 5-3 aggregate win, and in the semis we take down fellow English opposition in Leicester. Before we get into that though, the domestic cup competition still unsuccessful in the FA Cup, with Liverpool taking that one home at Wembley with a 3-1 win against Spurs. We were eliminated out in round 3 to Newcastle, this time at 3-2, and it wasn't to be as we couldn't defend our Carabao Cup title. Arsenal winning 4-1 against Brentford in the big dance, and last year's champions were eliminated by Wolves in round 3, 3-1. It's our strongest starting 11 on the pitch. There's a lot to play for tonight. I can guarantee Barca have already qualified for the Champions League, and NEIL Warnock's outfit prove themselves on the big stage, show up in the big dance, and add a European title to their name. And on penalties, after a 2-2 affair, it was Karsdorp to score the winning penalty to get the Terriers a win 5-4 in a famous victory against Barcelona. Huddersfield, it's a true underdog story. Are you Europa League winners in 2027? Oh baby, I can already hear the Champions League anthem blasting from the speakers at the John Smith Stadium next year. But for now, we're going to take a look at how we got there. Who were the heroes in Warnock's crusade? And the fan favourites continue to be the captain himself, our number 8 with 28 goals and 10 assists. Double figures in both departments is just normal for this lad now. 38 goal contributions from shoulder up, and next to him is Tyrese Simpson, always involved in and amongst the goals, our English goal getter with 24 to his name. Gabri Veiga, who actually played a lot more of a part than I expected this year, the Spaniard with 16 goals and 6 assists from Cam. David Kasumu, who's always a viable option to run the centre of the park, 7 goals and 4 assists for him. And our leading playmaker, Rico Lewis, on that right hand side, bombing up and down the wing with 5 goals and 22 assists. Phenomenal stuff. I must admit though, we weren't at full strength this season because I accidentally changed something in our team management sheet to have Sam Nicholls' position be Cam and not centre forward, so that's why he's had very limited games this season. Assistant manager hasn't played him throughout the simulations. Not much we can do about that. He's redeemed himself there with a Europa League final goal, and Stefan Bejetic embracing that new centre mid position with a +5 overall boost and 10 goal contributions. Caprile in between the sticks, getting himself 9 clean sheets, 50 appearances, and that's done a world of good for his overall. His growth and development just skyrocketing. You guys know him, you guys love him, the fans get around him. Sam Nicholls, our highest valued asset, pretty much hitting that £250 million mark. We've well and truly just become an English powerhouse to be reckoned with. The Champions League, here we come. Season 6, bring it on, as we've been gifted with £80 million. That is a board record. We're getting that financial backing, and it looks like we've got some big expectations to live up to if we want to keep our job. Look at our manager rating, it's in the bin. When you're out here making statement signings like this, it's more just to send a message. Warnock wants to make it known and clear that we're going after the Champions League. They don't care if it's their debut season in the competition. We're going all the way, or at least we're trying to. And honestly, after assessing the squad and the roster with what we needed, an out-and-out striker just to take over the role from Simpson, who's been there since day one. Warnock's happy holding up our new number 9 jumper as we're giving it to the World Cup superstar from Portugal, Goncalo Ramos. Forget the leaked videos, that's in the past. He's not getting cancelled anytime soon. He arrives from Roma. It's another obscure transfer figure we've landed on, but it worked. He's a slight upgrade on Simpson and also has a little bit higher of a ceiling to reach, about to enter his prime. That's our entire transfer budget dead and buried, but hey, that's what it costs in this economy if you want a guaranteed goal getter. The holy day has finally arrived and we've been drawn into Group H here in the Champions League alongside RB Leipzig, Lyon and Genk. Here is how our first choice starting 11 is shaping up to start this year, and we've got Ramos leading the line, Nichols the wonder boy leading right behind him, and the captain Shelder up now looking better than ever. How far can this quality carry us? Only time will tell. From our highest ever points tally earned to our highest place finished in the Prem, we have gotten ourselves to runners up. Second position here with 75 points, unfortunately losing out to Manchester City. 13 points was the gap, and scrolling down all the way to the relegation zone, it is Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace and Blackburn to go back down. It was only 2 seasons ago where we surprisingly won the Carabao Cup. Now we can add the FA Cup to our trophy cabinet with a 2-1 win over Southampton at Wembley. We showed up in the big dance. Warnock again slowly conquering all of England, as over in the Carabao Cup it was Arsenal to win in a 2-goal thriller North London derby. We were eventually eliminated in round 4 to Chelsea 2-1. Now this is what you've all been waiting for. How do we perform in the Champions League? In Group H we actually went 6 for 6, 18 points, undefeated with an 100% record, and then eventually took down Lazio in the round of 16, progressing through with a 4-1 aggregate victory, and then doubling down and getting revenge on Barcelona. We took out the Catalans 2-1 in the quarters in an epic encounter, and then we faced PSG with the likes of Mbappe and God knows who else. We won the first leg and then completely bottled it away in the second. Parisians showing no mercy at the Parc des Princes, and they went on to win the whole thing 3-1 against Atletico. Lessons were definitely learned, and I can't believe we made it all the way to the semis. At the first time of asking, this team has risen to the call. We have let this side flourish, we have let them bond and gain chemistry over the years, and Sam Nichols is back to his goal scorer and best. Our Hall of Famer number 10 with one of the best individual performances so far in the rebuild. 59 appearances, 32 goals, 25 assists. I can't even comprehend that. 57 goal contributions in 59 appearances. An absolute madman in our presence, and he's still only 21 years of age. Those are some Ballon d'Or-esque numbers. We have a new goal scorer in town, the Portuguese mammoth himself, the 26-year-old Gonçalo Ramos with 29 goals and 6 assists. He's been our top goal scorer for a few years in a row now. Our captain Shelder up, 40 goal contributions for the Norwegian at 24. It is scary what kind of numbers these lads are producing, as Billy the Kid Gilmore with 9 goals and 3 assists. Rico Lewis had some insane assist production last year, but he's kind of taken a backseat this time around. And Stefan Bajetic absolutely tearing things up as always. 5 goals and 5 assists for our Spanish maestro, as Pacho from the back with 3 goals and 2. The Ecuadorian leading by example. Caprile had a much improved stint this time around. When it came to clean sheets, he got himself in the double digits with 17. I'm happy to announce that we now have 5 players valued in the 9-figure range. It's the power of Warnock, baby, turning these unknown wonder kids into out-and-out superstars. But the job ain't done. The mission ain't over, people. Even though Warnock is in the critical stages of his managerial career, the board could be potentially firing him right here. I've just realized that I've forgotten to cover the UEFA Super Cup win. We took that one home 3-2 against Manchester City, so it boggles my mind even more why the board have a problem with us. We march on, the story continues, and the job ain't done. Entering season 7 with our heads held high, we have been gifted with an exuberant amount of cash, £206 million, an absolute war chest. The board are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at us. You can't say they haven't backed us, but you better hope we not get the boot. Now I know we've chopped and changed our defensive combination quite frequently these past few seasons. However, when you get the kind of money we've been thrown right here, you get the license to go after whoever you want in the transfer market, and that's exactly what we've done. I've been compared to him quite a few times, not only just on the field playing, but you know, in the looks department as well. It is Josko Gvardiol arriving here in the Premier League for just under £100 million. He wants to join at the final stages, the tipping point of the Warnock project, and he grabs the number 23. He smashes the club transfer record by quite some distance. You just already know he's got his name written all over that starting 11. You know, we've got another 100 or so whatever million lying around in the transfer bank. Why not splurge and go all out on yet another creative attacking midfielder that is just an electric talent to watch from Empoli's Youth Academy. Here in 2028, he arrives from Inter, gives that cheeky wink to the camera. It is Baldanzi, yet another Italian. Sir BCHD would approve. Thomas Salt, welcome to the club. It was a player swap deal involving Etienne Camara headed the other way, plus £108.3 million. Gvardiol's transfer transfer record only lasted for a day as Baldanzi smashes through it and gets the club's first ever 9-figure transfer deal. As you can see, we afforded that signing by the skin of our teeth. Only £354 left in the bank. There you have it. Group G is our home in this year's UCL, grouped in with Roma, Stade Rennais and RB Salzburg. No group of death by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm expecting us to top it. An epic £200 million plus spent for us this summer on two absolute ballers. We've actually shifted a few things around here. We have pushed Nichols just slightly further up the pitch. He still occupies that centre forward role as Baldanzi comes in as a brand new centre attacker midfielder, which leave Bacetich and Souza as the two out and out CDMs. Gavadio is another new boy who enters the back line. Our depth and quality we've accumulated now is, second to none, really. We're setting the bar high, and these lads are eager. They're hungry to meet it. Fingers crossed the big man at Warnock's revolution is going to get the happy ending send-off they deserve. We went from cupping the runners-up medal in season 6. Now the Huddersfield boys have won up themselves, and Warnock can now claim himself a Premier League champion, dethroning the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, and Arsenal for the title as the boys finish in first place, only with 2 losses, 94 points. It's absolutely sensational stuff, and it was probably just a matter of time. We let the boys cook, and boy, they've delivered a 5-course meal. Unfortunately, the citizens have come to rain on our parade, and before the season started, beat us out in the FA Community Shield 2-1. However, Brentford managed to upset them in the FA Cup final, winning 1-0 in the big dance at Wembley, as we were eliminated in a round 4 replay to Burnley 4-2. Brentford actually made the Carabao Cup final as well, this time not getting lucky against the Manchester side United, getting the best of the Bees in a 2-1 victory. And again, in these domestic cup competitions, we bowed out early in round 4 this time, 2-1 to Leicester. We were handed a pretty lucky group placing over here in Group G alongside Stade Rennais, Roma and Salzburg. We finished top of the pack with 10 points. That qualified us out to the round of 16, and that's where we saw a 6-2 demolition of Milan on aggregate, eliminated them and progressing through to the quarterfinals, where it was an away day masterclass, a 4-3 victory to get us over the line against RB Leipzig, and then that saw yet another German giant down. We cracked down by Leverkusen 4-1 on aggregate, which means we meet up with the record holders in this competition, the Galacticos, Real Madrid. We absolutely ran a train on this competition, and it shows. It's the Terriers in a big dance, baby. It is Warnock versus Ancelotti, a battle not only of the superstar players, but the managerial minds of the game. However, before we lock in, we've got to check and see what type of players got us there at the end of the day. Our top goal scorer was our captain. One of the signings, one of the players of this rebuild, Shelter up, the Norwegian, doing his country proud with 28 goals and 15 assists. This time 3 players getting double figures in both departments. That includes Sam Nichols, our homegrown talent from Day Dot with 27 goals and 11, and Goncalo Ramos partnering him up top with 19 goals and 10. Another surprise package I didn't really have high expectations for, a backup brigade player at that, Gabri Vega. The Spaniard managed to have a major involvement in our number 7 with 16 goals and 8, Raiko Lewis on the right hand side with 11 and 4, Gavadio from the back, the Croatian defender with 8 goals, and Stefan Bejetic with 4 and 3. Sousa, our utility rock, a versatile king, got himself 8 goal contributions. Also, Elia Caprile had a tough time breaking in to be our number 1, but 15 clean sheets in 56 appearances. Now, with a ridiculous number of players in that 90 plus range, they're just boasting at this point. And to get some closure on our final market values, we have our highest ranked asset, and that is Sam Nichols. It just had to be him. A £221.5 million valuation, and in runners up is our captain, just shy of that £200 million mark. That's it. Enough hype, enough chat. Let's get into the thick of things. Here are your 2 lineups on paper. It's the Huddersfield you've all come to know and love over the years. The boys will be duking it out against Real on home soil at Wembley Stadium. They've still got Courtois rocketing between the sticks, the likes of Upamecano and Botman in the back line. Barella and Valverde will be controlling the middle of the park, and an attack led by Vinicius Jr., Van Persie, and Gonzalez. There are 3 possibilities here. They've either dragged Van Persie out of retirement, I've accidentally got a mod which has icons and legends in this save, and they've signed Van Persie from the free agents, or it's Robin Van Persie's son, and you get a future teaser into an upcoming video on the channel. But enough about that, we're here to get down to business. They've won trophies on trophies, but they are fighting the Premier League champions for the Holy Grail, the coveted piece of silverware in club football. Warnock's created a successful English dynasty, but can they do it continentally? On the big stage, it will be Shaquille Van Persie to get us kicked off. What a night. I mean, what an occasion. Huddersfield fans have probably been dreaming about this ever since they've been born. Now with our first attack of the game, Sam Nichols, can he strike it with his weak foot, and we're just signaling warning shots to the Real defense. Oh, look, shoulder up with a successful interception. And BCHD could set something up here. It's Nichols again with the left boot. And 2 shots in 5 minutes. These chances aren't going to come this easy. Early doors, we are showing great signs. An early set piece opportunity here for Ancelotti's men. Can Rico Lewis clear that away? Caprile gets a mega hand to it to deny Real Madrid opening the scores early. Tough midfield battle today, a very physical affair. And here we go, Van Persie inside to Gonzalez. And Real Madrid, oh no, they've come back for blood. And Caprile defends the near post with his heart on his sleeve. We'll find Baldanzi again, and Real Madrid back on defense. And back ready to counter. And Vinicius Jr., is that going to be a penalty? No, it's going to be Van Persie skying it over the bar. And just like his father, he is always involved in the attack. And the Norwegian, the Dutchman I should say, finds an avenue there with Vinicius Jr. And Caprile has to deal with a tame shot straight at him. Still makes that run and he's onside here. Shoulder up, finds the ball inside. It's Baldanzi one-on-one with Courtois, and the heavy touch let him down. Trying to get this game by the scruff of the neck, but he's literally back and forth action. Van Persie charging towards goal. Pancho can't keep up with him. It's the Dutchman again to spur another opportunity. Carlo Ramos Baldanzi, who is causing all sorts of trouble, sets up Nichols with a one-on-one opportunity, and you knew he was just gonna slot it away. It was written in the stars for our boy from day one, the homegrown talent in the Champions League final. 7 years later, proves his worth, and our iconic number 10. It's not just a goal for Huddersfield, it's a goal for all of England. A ferocious finesse shot into the bottom right hand corner, and Warnock is loving every single second, fist pump in the air. Gee, this boy can play. 36 minutes is all it took, and it's his 6th goal in the competition. Oh no, Vinicius Jr., they've found the ball inside, and that's the equaliser. Huddersfield defense caught off guard. It's a famous old adage, famous saying in football, you are the most vulnerable when you've just scored, and that's exactly that. Pancho was well and truly out of position. This 3-man backline is in absolute shambles right now. And Vinicius Jr., the Brazilian Ballon d'Or winner, has blast one past Caprile to get Real back on level terms. Vinicius Jr. is just so dangerous. Look at him attack the space. He's got so much green grass to work with. And Caprile has to deny Valverde on the last kick of the first half. It's going to be Caprile to claim it, Caprile to punch it away. It will be a second 45 to remember. It's all to play for. We're still well and truly in this. The Huddersfield fans are as nervous and as tense as we are. Why is our team so open right now? Caprile, Collins on the line. Keep us on our toes as it's a beautiful over-the-top through ball from Ramos. Nichols is in here. He's got a Meccano to his right. He completely sells him for a hot dog. But Courtois manages to get low and deny us from going into the lead again. Corner set piece situation. It's Gavadio from the header and Courtois. Now we're putting him to work just like Real Madrid are doing with Caprile at the other end. Cross inside. No. He'll get to BCHD, the Spaniard, to take the shot. And I think we'll get a free kick in a dangerous area here. Valverde being booked. Here we go. It's a tense situation here. Shoulder up the captain. Can he lead by example? From the dead ball situation, the Norwegian fires one home. And oh my goodness me, that is a sensational Champions League final goal. If you don't mind, Andreas has rocked up under the Wembley arch to produce one of the free kicks of the year. The Real Madrid wall refusing to jump. I think if they jumped, they would have blocked it. Courtois left stunned with no chance. The man with the armband, he's a big game player. He's there for the big moments. And that was definitely one of them. Huddersfield Town 2. Real Madrid 1. Valverde now back inside to Van Persie. Pancho has a big defensive intervention there. Real Madrid trying to get back on level terms quickly after how fast they equalised last time. And again, they're still on here. Van Persie has to get that one away. Real Madrid applying that pressure, and that is a terrible hospital pass. Van Persie, oh my goodness me, Caprile, you son of a gun. Let's try to control the game, string a few passes together, and not give away a hospital pass like our defense has done probably about 5 times in this game, and it has cost us dearly as it's their sub Hendrick. I've still got him created as a player. We did a player career sim. It is the perfect promotion for that video right now. He still exists in this career mode save, and he's gone on to do big things as he scores for them in a 2029 Champions League final. To get there second, it's 2-2, and we right now are shooting ourselves in the foot. We're the master of our own demise. With 15 minutes left on the clock, we've had to make a few subs, a few changes. Vega is on for Baldanzi, and Simpson replaces the underwhelming Ramos up front. Here we go, the Norwegian with a pinpoint ball. It's found Simpson, and all of a sudden we've got a man free in the middle. How's he overran that. We have another opportunity here with Lewis. Back to BCHD, and it's a screamer from the Spaniard. An 80th minute rocket into the top left-hand corner. What is going on in this Champions League final? The 5th goal of the night, and it's our number 19 who we picked up in Season 1. Built the play up from the back, Rico Lewis, to set him up on a silver platter. And it's a picturesque finish. It's so satisfying to see it curl into the top left-hand corner, looping over Courtois. And it's the unlikeliest of goal-scoring heroes to get us up with 9 minutes left on the clock. And searching for this goal to send it into extra time, but we're trying to hold on by the skin of our teeth. Valverde, it's Vinny Souza who comes back and absolutely makes a meal of his South American counterpart. And that will be the final action of the game. The last kick, Vinny Souza to the rescue. And we avoid Real Madrid sending it into extra time. Nichols, shoulder up, BCHD, all on the score sheet. It was a tough battle. It went from end to end. I was really getting scared towards the final 5 minutes of that match. We held on, we prayed, we hoped, we bloody had our fingers crossed, and it all worked out in the end, as it was a 7-season wonder, a mega rebuild. It has been a wonderful journey here with Warnock and Huddersfield, but they made it to the tippy top. The first time in club history they become European champions. We won the Premier League, won the FA Cup and Carabao a bunch of times. This one's the most important. This is what we've been waiting for. And let's hope after this rebuild they can save themselves from their own situation they've got going on in real life. I'd hate to see them, a former Premier League staple, in League One. So the town, the Terriers, Huddersfield fans worldwide, I'll let you enjoy the Champions League final celebrations in peace. As always, your boys are back. Let me know what other rebuild, career mode idea videos you want to see down in the comments below. I do read every single comment eventually. If you made it this far, make sure to drop the video a like, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that good stuff. Follow me on all my socials. Follow me on Insta especially to keep up to date with what's going on in my life. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the very next video. Take care.
Walk away from me. Baby, don't walk away from me. Pretty little thing, I need your company. Baby, come and ride with me. Loving on you how we supposed to be. Well, that's how we supposed to be. Well, that's how we supposed to be. Well, that's how we supposed to be. Baby, just you and me. Ride it like a Harley, you belly dance. She so fly, she autopilot when I undress. Shawty hate when I get violent, apply the pressure on the block and I be styling.